Hey everyone, today's video is going to be called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Redemption, and it is, in other words, how to make it through the birth pangs of Mashiach. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a roadmap for how to get through the redemption unscathed. It's what I'm applying. And of course, I can't make any promises about who's going to make it through, what's going to happen, etc. But what I can do is share with you the advice from our sages, and the rest is in Hashem's hands. So that is what we can do. And I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of different topics, very practical, where you can increase Torah, tefillah, etc. And then in the end, I will give you some insight into how to apply it, because it's going to be a lot of information. And also what you can do if you're just getting started with Torah and mitzvot, and you might feel a little bit overwhelmed about how much there is to do and learn, etc. So here we go. If you turn off this video before the end, I want you to know this one thing. If you have Bitachon in Hashem, which is trust in Hashem, you will make it through. If you disregard everything else that I say, but you have 100% trust in Hashem, not your money, not your guns, not your food, whatever it is, if you have trust in Hashem, you will make it through. There's a story about an individual who was in the Holocaust, actually two individuals, who, one had a lot of bitachon in Hashem, and one was kind of questioning, do you still have bitachon in Hashem? And at one point, they were both thrown into a gas chamber, and one looks to the other one and says, what now? Do you still have bitachon in Hashem? And this individual said, yes, I have 100% bitachon in Hashem. And unfortunately, not things we want to picture, but the Nazis were pushing all of the Jews into the gas chamber, and they were packed in. And this was right before the end of the war. And at a certain point, the door wouldn't close. There were so many people packed in that a hand reached in and grabbed this guy and pulled him out. This is the guy who had said he had bitachon in Hashem no matter what. So even at that last moment, he was pulled out, and he actually lived to tell it. So that just gives you an example of how important bitachon is, and it is the key to getting through the birth pangs of Mashiach. I'm looking at all my notes here. I will include links, information and notes and links in the description below. All right, another thing that you need to do, how do you build bitachon, right? That's another big question. So that probably is a whole entire other video, but I will give you the cliff notes. Number one, you need to talk to Hashem daily in your own words. If you feel like you can't talk, you have to talk to Hashem and say, I can't talk to you. I don't know what to say. I don't understand, etc. You have to build a relationship with Hashem, and that will not come through the prescribed prayers. It won't be through someone else's, prayers that they write down and you read. No, it has to come from deep within your heart and out through your mouth. And so talk to Hashem daily. Talk to Hashem about building your bitachon. That's one of them. Another thing that I like a lot that I've been, utilizing is that there's this WhatsApp group called Good News Israel. I will try and put a link to it. I do think it's invite only, but I will, I can get you in if you are interested. And it's just miracles, essentially. Good news and miracles that are coming out of Israel. And to the Jewish people around the world. And that is another way to build your bitachon, is seeing Hashem's miracles. Hashem right now is still, of course, working within nature, above nature, but within nature. But if you go to this, you will see that there's so many miracles, and it will definitely increase your bitachon and your trust in Hashem. You also have to talk about trusting Hashem with other people. So that can be friends, that could be other people that you share those videos with, or these miracle stories, but speaking to other people about it will also increase your trust in Hashem. The last tip that I have for now is think about a time in your life where you saw Hashem totally come through for you. Maybe you prayed for something that was answered in the way that you wanted it to be answered, or someone was sick and they got better. Whatever it is, recall that and then actually think about and feel that feeling that you had when Hashem came through for you. Fill yourself with that feeling, imprint that feeling, and feel that every single day. So those are the cliff notes on Bitachon. All right, TESHUVA. You have to get rid of all of your idols. Now, what does this mean, right? I don't think most of you probably have, a little metal idol that you bow down to, etc., or, wood. But what do we do? What do we have? Well, we put our faith in who the president is. Well, if we have this president, then it's all going to be okay. Or we put our faith in our job or our money, or, I have a connected friend, etc. No, you got to get rid of all of your idols. So, of course, we need money. We do this. We do our hishtadlus. We do our effort. But you have to believe 100% that it's all in the hands of Hashem. And it's almost like you are in a car, you have your hands on the steering wheel, and it looks like you're driving the car from the outside, but the truth is, it is Hashem doing everything. Hashem created the car. Hashem puts the gas in the car. Hashem makes the car move. Hashem makes you aware of the other drivers. So it looks like you're driving, and that's how it has to feel. So that's your ishtadlus. You got to put your hands on the wheel, but Hashem does everything else. So get rid of your idols. Do an accounting. Figure out what you are a slave to, whether that's food or social media or your job, whatever it is, whatever you find that you are a slave to. Of course, we do that effort around Pesach time at a big macrocosmic level. We think about all the barriers in our lives and what we want to break through. But now we got to do this, we got to step it up. Whatever barriers we have, we got to break them down. Whatever idols we have to give up. 80% of the Jews did not make it out of Egypt because they didn't get rid of all of their idols, right? Get rid of the money, get rid of whatever it is, get rid of the desire for money, get rid of those desires that are not connected to Hashem. Number 2, grow every day. You got to learn a little bit more every day. You got to be a little bit better every single day. You got to do stuff every day. Forgive others and yourself for whatever happened. This is all kind of part of the TESHUVA, right? You got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive other people. And then the last part of TESHUVA is cheshbon nefesh. Take an accounting every day. See what went well. See what you could have done better. I like to do this with a notebook. I find it really helpful to write down at the end of the day what went well, what could have gone better, and then sometimes look at that in the morning as well to kind of prime myself for not making the same mistakes. So do a cheshbon hanefesh. All right, Torah. Very important to learn Zohar, which is the book of redemption. It's I believe it's one of the earliest Kabbalistic works. I don't think it's the earliest, but it's one of the earliest. It's by Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And I would recommend Rabbi Joey Rosenfeld's series. I think he has 21 or 22 videos that he's done in the last 3 weeks. I will put a link to that so you can learn Zohar every day. And then also it's on Sefaria. In terms of Torah learning, I have a few YouTube channels that I would recommend. I would recommend the Al-Sheikh Academy. I will put a link to that. It's a bunch of guys in Sfas, holy city of Sfas, and there's a lot of amazing content that they're posting there. I would also recommend my friend Rav David Kalmus. He has a YouTube channel called Sion Breslov, and his videos are amazing. I think you will especially enjoy his explanations and his teachings of Sipore Maisios, which are Rabbi Nachman's stories. Number 3, Leshem Torah. I will also put a link to that. And then Gedalia Fenster. If you haven't heard of Gedalia Fenster, I guess you're hearing it from me first, but I doubt that you're hearing about it from me first. He has a lot of insights, very encouraging, will give you that fire. And I highly recommend his podcasts, his WhatsApp groups, other resources that he puts out. Okay, looking at my list about Torah. So halacha, of course, we have to learn halacha a little bit every day. We know that if you learn at least 2 halachos, you're destined for the world to come. So halacha, just add a little bit more every day. I know that for a lot of people, I guess I'm just speaking for me. Halacha was the hardest thing to start learning. I don't know if it was how I was learning it or who I was learning it with, but I remember originally when I kind of started learning Torah, I was very focused on Chassidut, and it was hard for me to engage in other things. But really, wherever you find the most challenge, if it's hardest to learn halacha or something else, that's actually where you're going to grow the most. So learn a little bit of halacha every day, even just 2 tiny halachot. Is amazing. There is a book called Learn Shabbos in 3 minutes a day. Shabbos is 1/60th of the world to come, I believe, as it says in Gemara Brachot. So, you want to bring that Shabbat energy with you throughout the week. One way to do that is to learn halacha of Shabbat, and I will put a link to that book. I read that almost every day as well, and I recommend it. In terms of Torah learning, still in this topic, go to the Chavetz Chaim Heritage Foundation and look at all their resources for staying away from evil speech, evil slander. Really increase your study of the halachot, as well as the importance of staying away from evil speech. I also wrote down here Tomer Devora. So Tomer Devora is the first chapter, I believe, of Pardes Rimonim by the Ramchal, but it's published as a separate book. I don't know. I think it's part of that. Don't quote me on that one, but you can get it as a separate book, and I will also link to Sefaria. It's called Tomer Devora, and these are Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy, and their explanations of it, and it's basically how you can mimic Hashem's attributes of mercy. And this is an amazing, amazing resource to learn. Will also provide a tremendous protection for you and your family during the birth pangs of Mashiach. All right, there's so much Torah, but the last one I want to link to, this could perhaps be the one book that you grab if you grab it, is Advice by Rabbi Nachman, which in Hebrew that's Likutei Eitzot. His student Rabbi Natan went through Likutei Moran, pulled out all the practical advice, and then put it into topics. So if you want to go to the TESHUVA topic, you want to go to the Tefillah topic, you want to go to the Hitbodedut topic, you can do that. So I recommend this book, and I will also link to Sefaria, because just open it up, read it. You're going to see that you will be filled with a passion to serve Hashem, to grow. And I read from that book every day as well. Okay, that's the Torah section. I gave you a big download there, but let's keep moving. Eat kosher and eat healthy. Big topic, but the healthier you eat and the more you stick to kashrut, you're going to be able to think more clearly. I'm not going to go in any more to that, but very, very important during these times. Tefillah, you got to say Shema at least twice a day, right? You got to say Shema. I'm going to link to Parshat Shoftim, where Moshe is basically telling the people before they're going into war that to not be afraid. Just say Shema, don't be afraid. Rashi actually comments that if someone had no merits and they said Shema before they went into war, it would be enough for them to get through unscathed. So say Shema every day or twice a day. If you need to find it, Kriyat Shema Al Mitah, which is the Shema you say before bed, that should be after Mariv in the Sidur. Tehillim, this is a Jew's weapon, right? A Jew's weapon is tefillah, but even more specifically, Tehillim. I recommend Tikkun HaKlali, which are the general remedy, the general rectification, the combination of 10 Tehillim that Rabbi Nachman revealed to the world, as well as Tikkun HaGadol, which is the Shalah HaKodosh pulled together. And I will link to those, and those need separate videos. But if you're going to do some Tehillim, you do those combinations, that's even more powerful. Tikkun Chatzot, this is the midnight prayer. This is, I think, the most energy and this literally brings about the redemption, because you are mourning the destruction of the other 2 Beis HaMikdash, and you're yearning for the 3rd Beis HaMikdash. So that also requires a separate video, but Tikkun Chatzot is if you're doing all these things, especially Tikkun Chatzot, I can't think of something better to do during this time. All right, we're on to the mitzvos section. So a mitzvah provides a spiritual protection for a person, right? We know that mitzvos provide merits. They actually create angels. That's another discussion of, what is an angel? What are the different types of angels? But at a very almost shot level, your actions create angels that protect you. So do mitzvot, try to do more mitzvot, try to enhance the mitzvot that you're doing, especially try to enhance the kavanah in the mitzvot and the joy in the mitzvot is what I would say if you're already doing them, right? So if you're putting on tefillin, get excited about that. You get to put on tefillin today, right? Tefillin is actually what the warriors wore before they would go out into battle. So you can see that you're going to take on the day, whatever it might be, putting on tefillin, wearing tzitzit. Obviously, women don't do these things, but there's other mitzvot that women do as well. So mitzvot, super important. In terms of other mitzvot to do that I would focus on is definitely observing Shabbat with all of the halachot. Now, there are a lot of halachot, and I touched on a book called Learn Shabbos in 3 Minutes a Day. That's a really good resource. So I'm constantly trying to learn how to fulfill all of these halachos in the best possible way. But one actually very interesting, Rav Shimon ben Pazi in Gemara Shabbos 1:18a says that a person is spared from 3 tribulations: the birth pangs of Mashiach, judgment in Gehinom, and the war of Gog and Magog if they eat Sudah Shlishit. That is the 3rd meal on Shabbat. That's all you have to do. You have to wash, eat bread, bench, and that's what he says. So that seems like a very good mitzvah to do nowadays. All right, behavior change, crash course. If there's one thing that you start doing, which I feel is like the yesod, is the foundation of all of the other things, Rabbi Nachman said that it was the most important lesson that he ever taught. This was lesson 282 in the Likutei Moharan. You might have heard of it. It's called Azamra. If you look at Gedalia Fenster's resources or any Breslover's resources, you're going to see that they're focusing on this. And it's always judging another person favorably, always finding the good points, always looking for the good in other people, always looking for the good in yourself, staying away from depression, right? I can't tell you, it seems like the most simple thing. It's not in practice. Like, it definitely takes practice to always look for the good in everyone. But I can tell you that this, not only does it, change your perception of people and change the world, but you literally help other people at a metaphysical, spiritual level. You are lifting them up, and you should read learn that lesson. I will link to it on Sefaria, but I know Rav Kalmus probably has it on his YouTube channel. BreslovTorah.com with Rav Nosson Maimon definitely has it, and probably every Breslover has taught this in some way. But judge other people favorably. Always find the good in other people. This is a huge merit, a huge protection. Avas Yisrael. Love every Jew. Love all of the righteous Gentiles. That is another thing you have to engage in. It's kind of related to always judging other people favorably, but Avas Yisrael. So my friend Aviv started a WhatsApp group. He's sending out 2-minute lesson every single day about Avas Yisrael. Drop a comment or contact me on the website, and I will also try to get you an invite to that. And then I did a playlist on Avas Yisrael from Biyam Darkecha, and that's from Rav Itchamer Morgenstern's book, and there's a lot of practical tips there for loving every Jew, getting better at it. Not just saying, oh, I love every Jew, but I wouldn't talk to that one. No, practical tips for literally loving every Jew no matter what they do. Okay, unity. This is the other big one, right? When we are united, when the Jewish people are united, no one could do us any harm, right? That's a whole other video in and of itself, but unity, right? Stay together, and we're going to be good. And then the last thing for the kind of behavior change section of this video, it's stay away from evil speech. It's kind of the antithesis of Likutei Moharan lesson 282, which is judging other people favorably, is, stay away from judging people unfavorably and always, watch your mouth. I'll just tell you a quote from Gemara. It's that Abaye said, a person should not say that, as Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish said, the Reish Lakish, and it was also taught in the name of Rabbi Yossi, one must never open his mouth to the Satan, right? Do not give the Satan an opening. Don't judge other people, because at that point, it puts a magnifying on your own actions, and it's very dangerous, right? This is why the Chafetz Chaim engaged so much in, really trying to get people to stay away from Lashon Hara, because it destroys the world, right? That's another video as well, but that's the other behavior thing that will protect you, is just stay away from Lashon Hara. All right, prepare like Yaakov Avinu. He split his camp, and he still, got preparations in motion, even though most of his preparations, let's say 95%, was prayer and spiritual and Torah learning, which is what we're doing. But the rest of the 5%, he did his hishtadlus, right? So, the way I used to live was I was definitely more hishtadlus focused. It would be 99% my effort, what I can do. Maybe I'd pray a little bit, but now I've completely flipped it. And I'm telling you, that is the right approach in this Mashiach time, in the time of redemption. So, of course, buy what you need, right? Maybe you want to have extra food. Maybe you want to have guns. Maybe you want to, buy extra books. Whatever it is, do your preparations, but know that most of the preparation is spiritual. But do your hishtadlus as well. Split your camps like Yaakov Avinu. All right, super important. Guard your mind. Make sure that you are not sitting in WhatsApp and Twitter and YouTube and the news and just consuming all of these things every day. Number one, a lot of the videos, a lot of the information is fake, right? There's a lot of, there's obviously the actual war that's going on in Israel. There's little things that are popping up around the world, but a lot of it's fake. There's AI generated stuff. There are bots generating content, comments, whatever it is. You gotta just not get sucked into it. The Samech Mem, which is the name for the Satan, is also short for social media, right? So just know this, right? Guard your mind. Make sure that you are not being pulled into it all day, because then it's hard to go and learn. It's hard to go say Tehillim and not have these images in your head. So turn it off, be aware of it. If you get sucked into it, turn it off, start again. Know that, it will get better, right? Anti-Semitism is a method that Hashem employs to let the Jews know that it's time to move on. We've experienced anti-Semitism before. Obviously, it's never worked out for any nation that has tried to kill us. They're not here anymore. They're in our history books. But nevertheless, you want to get through it unscathed. And the method to that is prepare. Make sure you're ready to move on. Like we said before, leave your idols, whatever it might be, and you'll be fine, right? It's a message from Hashem. Okay, big topic. Do not try and understand what is happening, why it's happening. Of course, when something happens, we have to look at what is my own thing that I can fix, whether it's behavior. We talked about this a bit. But don't try and access it on a level of understanding, which is, asking the questions like, how could Hashem do this? That's like the age-old question of why do bad things happen to good people? How could a bad thing happen to a baby that didn't do anything? These are not questions that are going to have a productive answer. The truth is, you have to access a higher level, which is emunah. That's what you have to tap into. Perhaps maybe one of the, again, it's not a reason, but we have Gilgulim, we have reincarnation. So for most people here, as the Arizal says, they've been here 3 or 4 times. Now it's probably 5 times. And we are fixing also what we had to fix from our previous incarnations. And there's a whole science to that. You can read Shar HaGilgulim. It will give you some more insight into, how everything is connected. And perhaps we'll start to answer that question of, if someone's here and they've only lived for 1 year, why do they deserve to die? They didn't do anything wrong, etc. But it's hard to engage in those questions, and we just have to access a higher level, which is, Hashem, I don't understand why you did it. It's the most horrible thing ever, but I love you, and I'm going to do what I can do. I realize that you have a bigger picture. You are running the show, and I don't understand why that had to happen. But I trust you, and I'm moving forward. I'm going to do everything I can to save the other hostages, to do mitzvot for the people who passed away. But I can tell you that the people that passed away, who were killed for simply being a Jew, they are the holy of the holy. No matter what they did in life, they are the holy of the holy. And a tzaddik who lives a long life here, does all the mitzvot, learns all the Torah, perhaps will not reach the level that they reach. So hard to understand, but I would say try not to engage in those questions. It's not going to bear fruit for you. Okay, know where you're going and grow steadily. I'm almost done. There's a lot of information in this video, and it could feel like, there's so much to do. It's true. We have a lot to do, but I'm going to give you all the links, and I would say little by little, just try to add. Just do a little bit more each day than the day before or the week before. You will see the cumulative results over weeks. Just try to do good. You think of this experience as a ladder. You really can't jump 5 rungs, but you can climb one rung at a time. And that is the proper approach. So definitely just take an accounting of where you're at and do more. If a person goes to serve Hashem, the angels actively help them out. Gemara Yoma. So just know that you are not going to be alone, but you do need to open the door, even if it's just the size of an eye of a needle. I didn't come up with that. That's in the Gemara. The other thing I would say is learn about the Exodus from Egypt. If you want to know similarly to what might go down, let's say, in the coming redemption, I would say learn about this. For example, there was the plague of Choshech. So the Zohar also says that in the final redemption, there's going to be darkness for 15 days. Okay, maybe prepare for 15 days of darkness or whatever that might be. So use history as a guide. Hashem is not going to, it's going to work similarly. So learn about this. Okay, now, final part. What should I do at a minimum, right? There might be people who have not really learned Torah before or haven't done that many mitzvot, and they just want to get started. So I would say Shema at least twice daily, before bed and in the morning. Before bed, also say Hamapil. It's another bracha there where you forgive everyone else that may have done anything for you in the day. This is a just clearing activity. I highly recommend it. Lesson 282, Azamra, judge everyone else favorably. Find the good points in everyone. Find the good points in yourself. And lastly, know that the entire world is a very narrow bridge. The main thing is to not be afraid. So if you want to learn more about that, have no fear. Just go to RebbeNachman.org. You can learn about this short teaching that he gave, but he had this iconic statement. Just don't have any fear. The world is a narrow bridge. Just move forward. Don't have any fear. And I think that'll get you through it. And I'm also going to be engaging in all of these things as well. So I'm here for you. We're here for each other. If you have any questions, ideas, thoughts, comments, whatever it might be, put it in the comment section below, or reach out to me, prayertactics.com/contact. I'll be happy to help you, whether it's coming up with a personalized game plan or just answer some questions in chat. I would love to do that. Stay safe out there. Let me know if I can help you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.